Hello there. Fancy seeing you here. Hey, there's two people here. Hi. Hello. Hi, Barbara. Is it Barbara? Julie. Hi. Hello, Stroopwafel Detective. I am doing good, Barbara. Thank you for asking. I'm so glad you've all joined me here this evening for my second of four Ask Me Anythings on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Last week we did acting, and this week we are doing songwriting, where you can ask me anything you want about writing songs, about your songs that you're trying to write, about my songs that that you've heard, that you like, that you want to know more about. I am here. Hi, Issa. My day was fantastic. Thank you very much. It was really good. I got some writing done, and I practiced my guitar a little bit. I had the biggest show of my life coming up on Saturday. I'm playing a music festival. My band is playing a music festival called the Tuned In Music and Art Festival. And they tell me that they may have sold as many as 1,500 tickets. And they think another 500 might show up other than that. I might be playing in front of 1,000 or a couple thousand people on Saturday. I'm really scared. I have never stood in front of that many people and played my guitar and tried and sang my songs. So it's gonna be a wild weekend. I'm gonna start writing down your questions. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did last week, which is I'm gonna write down your questions, and you put out anything you want over the next couple minutes, so that I can try and make sure I get your questions answered that you showed up here to talk to me about. Oh my goodness, there's 10 people here to talk to me about songwriting. Welcome everyone. Songwriting is great. It's fun. It's been such a beautiful part of my life, and I'm so excited to talk about it. I feel really unqualified to talk about it, even though I've been writing songs for 30 years. I'm not a professional. I'm not a platinum album selling songwriter, but I love it, and so I'm going to talk about it anyway. When did I start playing from Issa? I'm going to also include in that how long I've been playing. What was the first song I wrote? Well, thank you, Stroopwafel. Hi, Nelly Gang. Oh, hi, Fandomedy. I feel like L, Fandomedy, you're L. Yes. Good to see you, L. Yes, I hope it will go well for me too, Nelly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, where did I start writing these down? Okay. Yes, Barbara, it is all about the passion. What other instruments do I play? Mm-hmm. Thanks, Julie. Issa wants to know, what song am I most excited to play? Do you mean at my show on Saturday? Oh, hi Sylvia. Thanks for spending 20 minutes on your break time. I'm so honored that you spent 20 minutes on your break from work with me on here. I'm so glad you're here. How do you write songs to music if you don't play music? That's a good question. Hey, there's 13 people. Hi, all 13 of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here to just talk about songwriting, and I'm going to answer the questions in the chat in just a couple minutes. I'll start answering them. Right now, I'm just writing them all down. These are great questions. Barbara, what do you love most about writing songs? Random waves of inspiration. Do you have a routine where you try to sit down and get something out? That's a fabulous question. Stroopwafel. So I have written a few songs, but it's always just the lyrics. I struggle with the melody. Any tips? Yes, on Saturday. Oh, hi from Brazil, all the way from Brazil. Hi from Scotland. Oh my goodness, Mary Dewar from Scotland. Hello, hello, welcome. Julie, where can you hear my music? There's a couple different places I'll tell you about. If you play more, it says, oh, yay, there's 2 people from Brazil, your neighbors. Maybe, big country, but maybe not. But that's cool that you're both here from Brazil. If you play more than one instrument, what instrument would you recommend to start out learning? From Lucy. Wow. Lucy, would you mind just specifying whether you or someone you're referring to, what instruments exactly you're playing? Start out learning. Well, I'm going to be biased on that one, Lucy. I'll be biased on that. I'm not a king, I'm just a guy. Hi from Ireland. Hi from Mexico. Mia from Mexico, welcome. Chloe from Ireland. Seneca from India. I'm so amazed. Isn't the internet amazing? Are we talking about songwriting with people from all over the world? Okay. Hey, sweet Todd. I write poetry and like singing them, but I don't know how to write songs. Gosh, you're halfway there. I know I'm gonna love Brazil. Hi from Chicago. Yeah, I've spent time in Peru. I did a big trip with some friends of mine and my friend Julio's family in Peru, and we stayed in Lima, and we did the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, and then we went over and did a little while in La Paz, Bolivia, and then we went up to Venezuela, but I did not get down to Brazil. Another one of my friends, his wife's family's from Chile. I would love to see Chile. I've heard that's beautiful. I have lots of traveling to do in South America. Oh my goodness, Peru is incredible. All right, I'm not talking about songwriting. That's okay. You know what? You get inspiration from songs from all over the place. I learned a beautiful melody while I was traveling in Peru. The one thing I just want to emphasize to everyone who's out trying to write songs, if you're trying to write songs, songwriting and being a songwriter is an act of, sorry, my question wasn't clear. I meant, what instrument would you think is easiest to learn and play? This is coming from someone who doesn't know where to start in instruments. Gotcha, Lucy. I gotcha. And like I said, I'm going to give you a biased answer on that. Songwriting is about listening. You know, I think we talked about this last week where I said I have 2 ears and 1 mouth because I'm supposed to be listening twice as much as I talk. That's my lesson in life. So if you're listening, you can catch things for songs all around you, coming out of car windows as they pass you by, or buildings, or people playing on the street corner. And for lyrics, people say things. People on the subway say something. Someone in the cafe says something. You watch an interaction between 2 people and you suddenly get a sense that there's some sort of conflict there that you don't understand, that you want to explore or try to express through song lyrics. So it's really an act of listening. I have to play you this little piece that I learned. I heard this on a bus in Peru. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And we heard that, my friend Brooks and I, who were traveling down there together, and we wrote words to it. And we used to play that a lot in the Bay Area in my band. But I got that song all just from keeping my ears open in another country. Yes, of course, South American music they're the best. When did I start playing? I think I learned my first chord when I was 18. I'm 50, guys. I'm 50. 18, 32 years ago, learned my first chord, I think. Well, that's not true. I gotta take that back. My mom insisted I take piano lessons when I was 6. So it started there, and then I quit. I didn't want to play piano. I broke down on that. Then I wanted to play guitar, and I actually had a rented acoustic nylon string guitar when I was in 2nd grade, and I didn't last long on that either because I didn't want to start reading music. I didn't want to learn how to start reading music. It was too hard to read music on a guitar. I wasn't translating to my fingers, and I quit. When I got into junior high school in 7th grade, I started playing the clarinet. I started playing a woodwind. And I played the woodwind, that clarinet, for 3 or 4 years. Those of you who are familiar with my work in Dead Poets Society, you know I have a line in the cave where I say, "Oh, I love the clarinet." That was an honest improvisation that I did, and it was shot. And then he shot down. Charlie goes, "I hated it," but that was from a real place. Like, I really did play the clarinet for many years, and eventually I quit that too. My friends, I had a group of friends in high school who were playing guitars and were being in bands. Yes, really. So they were playing guitar, and my dad had a nylon string guitar that he'd always had. And the first thing I remember my dad ever playing for me was Sunshine. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. That's the first thing I ever remember hearing on the guitar. It was a John Denver song. So he had that nylon string acoustic guitar, and I started picking it up in high school because my friends were playing guitar. And then my friend Carl taught me a few chords on it. It wasn't until I went to college and I didn't have my father's guitar around me that I was in the dorms and I was kind of bored, and I was looking for stuff to do with my life in between classes, and I bought myself this guitar. I bought this guitar 32 years ago. It's a Yamaha. It's nothing fancy, Yamaha 460 SA. And I started playing it on my own then. And it wasn't long before I decided to start writing songs on it. I learned a few. Yeah. Well, Grace, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I have opened up an old traumatic wound by playing some John Denver. Okay? Almost heaven, West Virginia. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Won't do any more John Denver. But he was a master. The first song I ever wrote. So the first song I ever wrote. I'm about to lose a viewer. The first song I ever wrote was after I fell in love for the first time, and I wanted to describe the feeling that I was having. So I wrote a song called "On This Road," and it was two chords mostly. It was mostly just G and C. I mean, the thing about and this is where it's kind of get to the question who are asking, what if I'm not an instrumentalist, if I'm not a songwriter, what's the best instrument to start with? I'm biased. I'm going to say the guitar. And here's why. Because you can learn 3 chords, pick any, and you're practically playing half of the rock and roll canon. You can start singing along to, like I said, Sunshine on My Shoulder is 2 chords. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? That was the first song I ever learned out of a songbook. That has more than 1 chord, but not too many more than 2 or 3 chords. They're just variations on the same chords. But I like the guitar because you can learn the fingering for a couple chords and you can start strumming along. You can strum along to some songs that you already know, and you'll start to be able to hear songs that you have heard before in those few chords. And if you learn those, you can then start setting your words to those chords. Like I said, that first song I ever wrote was like, oh, G and C, those sound pretty together. There's 10 gazillion songs written with G and C, but so what? They're not my songs, right? And the thing that you bring to a song as a songwriter is yourself. Because every melody, it's a very well-worn tracks on melodies and chord changes. They're very well-worn, but they're not you. They're not you. They're not your feeling. They're not what you had to say. They're not your particular combination, right? So I said, summer beach and sunset, my fingers through your hair with the wind. The rolling waves are music. Because we sat on the beach. Twilight skies above that fold us in. Now I learned a bunch of fancy chords and I thought I was so cool. I'm with you. It's an E minor. Baby, I'm with you. I'm never far away. Oh, back to the C. That's nice. Just take my hand. Oh, back to the G. And I'm back around. Oh, I'm going to go down to that E minor again. I don't know where this way is leading. That's an A minor. How about to an F? This is our time we found, and I say, ooh, the D's nice. I say to you, and the chorus is just going to be G and C again because it's nice and easy. I'll stay on this road. I'll stay on this road, I'm on with you. I'll stay on this road. I'll stay on this road I found with you. And then I just repeated that again. I did it a second time, and I had a little 3.5-minute song that was trying to describe how I felt in that moment when I was having my first little romantic love affair at age 19 or 20 or whatever it was. And it was, some simple chords, but it meant something to me, And I tried to write from someplace, honestly. Barbara, have I ever taken singing lessons? Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. I have not. I'm not a trained voice. I'm not a trained songwriter. I'm not a trained musician. You must take everything you hear from me tonight with a grain of salt. I am not coming from any sort of place of professional, stamp of approval from the industry. I don't, but all I bring to the table tonight is my experience, which is about 32 years of this. This guitar has been my constant companion for 30 years. And that's one of the beautiful things about songwriting is you can turn to it when you're stuck in other things in your life. Let's say if you're trying to act, or you're trying to write screenplays or make films, or you're trying to work, you're trying to break into a field that you've studied and it's hard and you've had a rough day and you can't, and the application or the thesis didn't get read by the right person at the firm. A piece of an instrument, the ability to express yourself, it's almost like journaling, which I recommend for everybody, is you should be journaling. People who are, we're all sensitive creatures. We have feelings, and journaling helps you channel your thoughts and get it out from the bee's nest of your head and get it onto paper. And writing songs can be like that too, because I honestly don't understand most of the things I'm feeling. My feelings are these huge, powerful things, and I don't understand. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yes, me too, Grace. I encourage everyone to make music. And we're going to get to, yes, we talked all about the passion. Julie asked me what other instruments I play. I think I answered that. I started with piano, then I went to guitar, then I went to clarinet, and then I went back to guitar. And each of those stops taught me something different. How do you write music and know you came up with it and that it doesn't exist already? Well, that's a good question. What song am I most excited to play on the at the festival? I don't know if all of you were here when I said on Saturday I'm playing at a music festival, and I might be playing in front of a couple thousand people. Yes, I haven't immediately thrown a song away, but I have. They have been abandoned. This is the first song I'm going to play at the festival this weekend. Same old story, yeah. You've heard it all before. I do the same old song and dance to get a second chance with you. Oh, same old story, yeah. Like waves upon the sand, a sad song that never ends. But what else am I supposed to do? Please tell me, when did you intend to let me know? I better sing it better than this on Saturday. That you had in mind to let me go. So much better with the band. Oh, you don't love me anymore. Please tell me, did you know the ending from the start? Story that we both know by heart. Oh, you don't love me anymore. Oh, you don't love me anymore. Sorry, that was bad, but it'll be great with the bass player and the drummer. It's going to be awesome. And I wear a big cowboy hat and dark glasses and a Hawaiian shirt, and I'm going to totally just rip it. But that song is just about that moment. This is about the littlest moment. This is about the littlest moment. It's about that moment when you start you when it clicks for you that the person who you are in love with or that you've given your heart to no longer feels that way about you. um, this horrifying, terrible moment, right, where your feelings for someone, they may have been reciprocated in the past, but they're no longer being reciprocated, and you don't know why. And the first thing you think is, how long have you known that? How long have you known you didn't feel this way about me? Because clearly you don't. So it's, when did you intend to let me know that you had in mind to let me go? Did you know the ending from the start? A story that we both know by heart. You don't love me anymore, it's the same old story. The name of the song is the same old story. It's been happening. The whole idea of this is, and that sort of treads on the ground that you were talking about. Someone was asking about earlier was, how do you know it doesn't exist before? It probably does. As a matter of fact, I know it does. There's an entire catalog of thousands of songs stretching back through the history of the planet Earth that describe similar feelings of, a jilted lover, or feeling as though, I'm in a lot deeper in this than you are. So anyway, I'm excited to play it because that's the first song we're gonna play, and the bass is. I've got this great bass line and this reggae drumming that's gonna go on underneath it, and I'm gonna be running around stage trying to get people to clap and stuff. How do you write songs to music if you don't play music? Okay, that's a really good question, Al. Are you still with me? I hope you are. I think you are. So this is where technology is so fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Hello, thank you, Brazil, for coming all this way digitally to my Ask Me Anything About Songwriting. There's a lot of technology out there, Elle, that would allow you to create key change and melodic patterns. And the reason why I know that those things exist on the internet as apps and as websites and as pieces of software is because my son and all of his classmates are writing songs in school. And none of them, well, no, I shouldn't say none. Some of them probably are already very proficient instrumentalists. They started when they were young. But even if they're not, they are still learning how to write songs and create music through these computer programs where, he'll pick a beat, and a beat is just, what stirs your heart. You can pick a beat or a rhythm or a time signature, whether it's a slow song, kind of like that one had like a, or you want to go boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. That's fine. Whatever it is, you can pick whatever you want on these programs, right? And then you can just say, and press the F key, and that makes it go. It'll just start playing some music in a key to a beat that you like, right? And then it's just a matter of reaching for your notebook and reaching for the lyrics that you've been thinking about, or the poem you wrote about something you saw, or whatever else, and set the words to the music. Now you'll say, but I don't know what the melody should be. Well, that's what the shower's for. You get in the shower with that key and that beat in your mind. You take a long, hot shower and you start humming. Because I know you're humming in the shower. Everybody's humming in the shower. They're all writing songs in the shower. They're just not telling everybody about it. You are doing it. Or you're humming the song that you love when you're in private. So I really do believe that we all have a musical heartbeat in us. Everyone has a musical heartbeat. I don't believe people when they say I don't sing. I'm non-musical. I simply don't believe you, and that's just my choice. I choose not to believe you. Yes, you are putting on concerts in the shower, and they're great. We're on tour now. Everybody has a musical heartbeat in them and has a love of music and some experience of music. What I do believe is that a lot of people were forced to shut it down because they weren't encouraged, or they were told they weren't good enough, or you're not a good singer, or you're out of tune, or your fingers are klutzy, you'll never be able to play the instrument, or what are you wasting your time for, or you didn't practice enough to be good, you blew it at the concert. Whatever your set of experiences may be that drove you away from creation of music, because I'm not good enough. I will never be, Shostakovich. I will never be Janis Joplin. I will never be Nina Simone. So therefore, I'm not going to play music ever again. That to me plays into kind of what we're up against in this world, which is people who say, if you're not an expert at something, why bother? Why are you wasting my time? And I think that that is the wrong approach to songwriting and everything else. You should do it because it delights you. You do not have to be great at anything to participate in it and to express yourself that way. And you were singing when you were a child, and your mom was singing, or your dad, or your grandparents, or your aunt and uncles were singing to you, and you were listening, and you have a right to music just like anybody else. Now, I'm not saying you have to go get up on stage and sing for everybody, or anything like that. That takes another level of courage to kind of stand up there and say, now everyone listen to me. I get that. And there can be performance anxiety in that and everything. But songwriting, just as a practice, as something to try or experiment with, I believe everyone should engage in it. And sometimes it's just a matter of writing down what you're already singing. Seriously, you've written a song or two, you just never told anyone, and you didn't write it in your journal, and you didn't get out your phone right after you wrote it in the car or on the subway. You wrote a melody, you wrote a chorus, and you get out your phone and you turn on your memo function and you sing it into the phone. You just wrote a song, you wrote a chorus, you wrote something. When you listen back to it later, you'll be like, oh yeah, I was feeling that way, I do play around with different tunings on the guitar. I love to tune the whole guitar down to D. D's are real friendly. Tune the whole guitar down. Google program teachers usually have kids write music. Good, thank you. Yes. Song producers, yeah, they're doing it young. I mean, some of these kids are incredible. They're whippersnappers. They're going to do important things in their lives with music. Major influences as a singer-songwriter: Otis Redding, Bob Dylan. I'll just stop there. There's more, but I don't know any. I don't know what else to say about that. What's your favorite Warren Zevon song? From Philip. I don't know Warren Zevon that well. I'm really sorry I can't speak to him, but I know he's great. And there's enough people who I respect who say that he's great for me to know that he's great, but I don't know his music at all. Art is for everyone, cup of coffee. Indeed, indeed it is. Yeah, drop D and make it a punk song. That's amen. Amen. Or a Neil Young song. Neil Young does a lot of drop D tuning. What other questions did we have early on? What do I love most about writing songs? Is my songwriting the subject of random acts of inspiration or a routine? So that's a really interesting question, and my friends who are songwriters are going to have different answers to that question. My friend Eric Sandin, who's one of my dearest friends, and he's one of my favorite songwriters, did an exercise for a couple of years called Dial a Song, which is he was inspired by They Might Be Giants, I think, who did Dial a Song, which is he was recording songs onto his outgoing tape on his answering machine, and he resolved to change that song every week, which forced him to write a song every week. Now, in the process of doing that, he wrote some songs that he liked and some songs that he never played again. He just wrote them because he had to a half an hour before he changed the tape. How important is a track order on an album, Amanda? Hi, Amanda. So there's something to be said about being in a routine and saying, I have to write. My friend Rochelle Barr, who I just played with recently, she has resolved to write a song a day for the entire month of June. And, some of the songs work out great and some of them don't. There's something to be said of, I love the saying of, sure, the muse might strike, but you better be writing when it does. In other words, the muse isn't going to come and pull you out of your couch. You need to be working. You need to be working on what it is that you're trying to create. And the muse, if it arrives, if you get inspired, you will then be in a position to channel the muse that has arrived. I play my guitar once a day. I keep it in a convenient place. I keep my instrument in a convenient place so that I can pick it up in between pages when I'm writing, in between other things that I'm working on. And sometimes while I'm practicing my guitar, a chord progression will arrive. Words will come up that I've been thinking about that I can fit into that. There's a melody that goes with that chord that's kind of pretty, and the song will show up because I decided to practice the instrument. So it is moments of random inspiration, but the reason why I've written 50 songs in my life or somewhere in that neighborhood is because playing the guitar is a joy for me. There's a delight to it. It takes my mind somewhere else. Sometimes, I'm a screenwriter too, and sometimes I'll be working on a screenplay problem in my head while I'm strumming, while I'm thinking about something else, because it occupies that part of my mind and allows my other part to engage in songwriting. So Stroopwafel, I remember, sorry, I'm just not getting to your question. What if you have lyrics and no melody? Any tips? I'm going to reiterate what I said about creating music through these incredible digital tools. I don't think it's cheating, and I think that you could find a progression or a beat that fits to what the lyrics that you've written, and try it. And by the way, nothing will help your songwriting more than come up with something, right? It's like they say when you're writing a book or you're writing a screenplay, just fill up the pages first. It doesn't matter if they're not any good or you don't think they're any good, and the inner critic in you is like, this is terrible. This is a terrible song. Put this critic away, record what you did, record what you came up with, okay? And if you can't bear to listen to it right away, then stick it in a file in your computer and come back to it in a week or 2 weeks, and play it. At which point, I swear to you, you will either say, hey, this is really good, I'm gonna keep it, or I'm gonna build, you know what, I'm gonna put an extra chorus on that, I'm gonna say that part again. You'll have an idea for it, or you'll junk half of it and say, that whole thing doesn't work, I'm gonna start over, or I like that one little bit that I did in the middle, but the rest, but only because you put it down. So go on one of those things, Stroop, okay, and pick a chord progression or even a key, just a single, A major, A minor with a beat, start singing to it and record it, and then come back to it later and you'll have a revelation. Where can you hear my music? You can hear my music on Spotify. I have some music up on Apple iTunes. I am on SoundCloud. You can either look me up personally. I have a couple of different monikers under which I've played music in this world. You can look me up, just my name, Dylan Kussman. My band that was in existence before the band I'm in now was called the Dylan Kussman Band, and I think we put up a couple songs on those platforms under the DKB for the Dylan Kussman Band. So you can find me like that. I think on Spotify, there's a couple songs up on there. Right now, I'm in a band called Tropic Soul, Tropic, Tropic, and SOL. SOL, man. But it's meant to be like tropic. It's an O with a line over it, like soul, like the Spanish word for sun. Tropic sun. So and we're playing more of that reggae type stuff. Like I was playing that. We're playing some reggae, and we're doing a lot of reggae. I'm doing a lot of Ziggy and Marley and Bob Marley and Jimmy Cliff songs, and some R&B stuff, you know, and then we're playing some originals, like the one I played for you. That one is one of mine. But so you can look up Tropic Soul. We have a couple songs up on iTunes, I believe. iTunes, Spotify. The thing, my issue with Spotify is they're just really not cool to artists. I mean, I know Spotify's great, everybody, but I just need you to know that when you play my song on Spotify, I get like 0.000000001 penny for every 100 spins or something. That's not Spotify's fault. It's kind of Napster versus Metallica's fault. We really lost this battle back when Metallica lost their battle with Napster, and it became very evident that people were going to be able to get recorded music for free off the internet. That's just the way it is, which just meant that the creators of the music are not getting paid, which is it makes it a bigger struggle. Right now, recorded music, you can't make money with recorded music. You can if you get your song as the title song in a TV show or a movie, but you can't selling your music online is very difficult to make profitable. And I would argue impossible. Everything can be gotten for free. The only thing that music is good for recorded wise is to fill venues for your show. That's when musicians get paid. That's when songwriters get paid. When they give their music away for free, essentially on Spotify. I know everyone pays a membership fee or you pay for your iTunes, but we don't see it. Apple sees it and Spotify sees it. They see it. So we give away our music for free online to build a fan base and get you to come out and see our show. Now, the last year and a half of COVID, that shows have been shut down. So everybody's just really struggling. But it hasn't gotten any better for making music off of the internet or making money off of recorded music. I'm so sorry I went so far afield on that. I can't believe you're all still here listening to me after my diatribe. If you play more than one instrument, which one should you start out learning? I believe I answered that. Guitar. It's easy. Yeah, touring is how bands make money. That's right. Ooh, my Gretsch. It is a 6120. Yes. Nice. Good call. I started learning on Guitar and Musician, which is an instrument and singing learning app, but I got a mandolin for my birthday and it's just so much harder, but I'm determined. Good. I'm proud of you, Georgie. It's a beautiful instrument. I love the mandolin. So if it's in your heart and you like the sound that comes out of it and you like it so much that it'll make you practice every day, then stick with it. Absolutely. What else? How do you know the song doesn't exist already? It might. I like to think that when I sing something or I sing a melody, I know, and I've caught myself many times while I've been writing a song, I go, that's from that song. I just cold ripped off that song. So I like to think that I have a pretty clear library in my head that I can cross-reference and say, I stole that straight from that song. But for the most part, I don't worry about it. We're all just full of our influences. We just are. And so sometimes they come out, and sometimes I'll write something that wasn't exactly from a Beatles song, but gosh, it sounds an awful lot like a Beatles song. Oh well, that's cool. One of my rock songs that I play with the Dylan Christian band, I wanted it to end like this. And someone said, that's the ESPN theme song. And I was like, yeah, well, it's also the end of my rock and roll song. So anyway, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Oh, remember the Music Plus on the corner of Central and Colorado? Wow, that's a hardcore Glendale reference. I was born and raised in Glendale, California, everyone, and Philip there just made a reference to a music store on the corner of Glendale and Colorado. I don't know if I do remember a Music Plus. I remember Charles Music. You remember Charles Music, Philip? Charles Music was also on Colorado, was it not? I bought some strings in there. Sponsored by you. Yes, yeah. That's right. Okay, what else? Oh, Amanda, what's the importance of track order? So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I think it's really important. You know, those Zeppelin albums wouldn't be the same without that particular order of songs. The problem is that I don't think in terms of albums much anymore. Something has changed with the distribution of songs as singles on the internet that has devalued the institution of the album, the institution of a group of songs that all go together. Even if they're put out together, it oftentimes feels like songs are their own individual entities, because that's how they're purchased and that's how they're playlisted. Everybody creates a playlist. Someone puts out an album, you comb through it, you find the two you like, you put it in your personal playlist, and that's really how you're going to listen to it, amidst all the other songs that you listen to. That said, I mean, it's tough to argue with the power of the musical progression of Michael Jackson's Thriller, or any other number of classic albums. Also, that picture of him with the white tiger on the record. Does anyone remember that? Is anyone old enough to remember? Or Purple Rain, the song order of Purple Rain. Oh my gosh, it's so good. He just had a birthday, by the way, Prince, one of our greatest songwriters ever. Ever! He just had a birthday. Miss him. I would like him back, please. I would like David Bowie back, please. And Etta James. Like those three back, please. And then we'll move on to the rest. Off the Wall is great too. But that's a fight we do not need to have online. Let's not have that fight. Anyway, this has been really fun. I think I've answered as many of these questions as I can, or that you can tolerate listening to me answer. But I want to thank you all for coming. And unless there's anything else, what type of songs do I fancy on my acoustic? Or what type of strings? D'Addario. I just go with the D'Addario 10 gauge. Danny lived in the backwoods of New Mexico. He and his wife Sarah never said that they were poor. Danny lost his job a week before Christmas Eve. Sarah had no more tricks up her sleeve. No money in their pockets and no food on the shelf. Danny sat on his bed and he cried to himself. When Sarah saw the gin bottle sitting in his hand, she said, don't you start, you're a no good man, you're a no good man. You're no good. She's no good, she keeps me tied down. She'll never, ever let me find. I've got to put that thing underground and put that palm away. More time. The sheriff found her body floating 90 miles down the stream. And he tipped his hat and he licked his teeth clean. And when they spotted Danny's Ford before the county line, they would have rolled right up ahead and 3 patrol cars from behind. Ooh, they're coming for you. And he jumped from his car, hid behind a stone with a 12-gauge shotgun. You'll never take me out alive, he screamed at the top of his lungs. And it took 5 long hours. It took 5 hours before they took him down. Before they took him. Yeah, a little drop D tune. Free bird! So man, that's lighting candles for me. I like it. Philip. Oh, it's Philip. It's you, Philip. Why did I not put that together? Dude. I should have played a Neil song for you, Philip. We would all remember you. We all remember you. You're kind. Thank you, Barbara. Thanks, Allegra, for being here. Thanks, Sweet Todd. You've all been wonderful. I really appreciate you coming and listening to me talk about songwriting. It's been such a pleasure. Writing songs is joy. It's supposed to bring you delight, right? So do it. Or support a friend who does it. If your friend is writing songs, trying, they're new at it, listen to them. Listen to the songs that they write. Tell them you want to hear it. We have such a hard time sometimes fighting against the noise and people wanting to hear our music. And when we do get asked to play places, we have to fight against TVs on the wall, playing sporting events, and people are paying attention or they're talking to their neighbors. We work so hard. Songwriters who, care about their craft or trying to write something good, they work so hard to make it just right. Every note matters to them, right? So when you give someone your attention, when you give your friend or your family member or your brother or sister, your child, your attention and say, let me hear what you made. Listen to them, sit in front of them, and don't, one thing I always appreciate what means a lot to me, the way people listen to me play a song, when it really hits me that someone is listening to me, is when they're watching my face. They're watching me sing it. They're not watching my fingers on the guitar or my fingers on the piano trying to figure out how I'm doing it, how I'm making the music, how I'm making the magic, if you can call it that. But they're listening to me perform my song for them, the words and kind of what I've discovered. So when you listen to someone play a song for you, give them your attention and let them feel listened to. That's the greatest gift you can give to a songwriter. Hey, I'm gonna sign off. Before I go, thank you so much, all of you, for sticking around. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to put it out there that I want to try and gather a group of artists together in the same room, in a Zoom room, online, a virtual mentorship circle that has people pursuing all of these things that I'm talking about on these Wednesdays. I want some actors, I want some songwriters, I want some screenwriters, I want some filmmakers. Because I feel like we have a lot to teach each other, and these are parts of my brain that are constantly working and are firing, and that I'm practicing these crafts, and they work in conjunction with one another, and they form the storyteller that I am. And I want to manifest that in terms of a group of people that and really watch each other work, and I could sort of help or feedback on what everyone's working on, whether they're songs or monologues or screenplay ideas or film ideas, and we could learn a lot from each other. If that interests you at all, if the idea of doing something like that interests you at all, I just want to encourage you to send me an email, dylan@dylankussman.com, and let me know that you'd be interested in being put on a list to be considered for something like that. If you think you know someone who might want to get into a creative group like that, I think it could be really eye-opening, because we're all those people who are doing those crafts are pursuing something similar. We are pursuing the desire to express ourselves through these mediums, and they all work together. Films have music in them. Music can change an actor's performance. You only have to take two different scores from two different movies and lay them over the exact same monologue from a film to know that. They affect your emotional response to a performance. Writers need filmmakers. Writers write for actors. Sometimes screenwriters think about a song that will go in the scene that they're writing. We're all working with each other's stuff, but it seems as though we tend to separate because this culture tells us to specialize. It tells us to just pick one thing, which I get. And I'm totally on board if someone has picked someone like, that's my pursuit, that's what I want to do. But I also just want to make room for the boundaries can get slippery. The boundaries can get fluid. I like them to get fluid. I like it when we're influencing each other. And I've made friends with film composers and directors and actors and musicians because of that, because I love what they bring to the table creatively. Anyway, if you think that sounds like something you'd be interested in, or someone you know might be interested in, tell them to reach out, or you reach out. Because I really have liked all your questions. They make me think. I learned so much about these topics. I learned so much last week about acting from you all. And now I've learned a lot about songwriting, thinking about these great questions you asked me. I'm sorry I didn't have better answers. Like I said, I'm kind of a devoted amateur. I just love doing it. I've never had a platinum album. How do you get a platinum album? I have no idea. What does that even feel like to sell 1 million albums? Is that what platinum is when you sell 1 million? Yeah, play the harp in the morning and write at night. That sounds dreamy. Okay, Georgie. Yeah, send me a message, and maybe when I'm done with these things in June, I'll try and set up a Zoom room, and we can get in a room together virtually. This weird world. Passion is the key. Thank you, sweet Todd. I'll remember that. It's 9:00. I've wasted enough of your time for the evening. I haven't wasted it. This has been a great hour. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you very much. Next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to talk about screenwriting. I'm going to tell you about what I've done with my life as a screenwriter. And I want to know if you're writing or if someone you know is writing screenplays. And we'll talk about that. Bring your questions. I really appreciate you tonight. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.